Okay, so get this, BlackRock, Wall Street, the giant that manages trillions, they're making a huge bet on Bitcoin.
Oh, wow.
We're talking about the world's largest asset manager, like diving headfirst into the crypto pool.
Interesting.
They're launching a Bitcoin exchange-traded product, an ETP.
Okay.
In Europe, fresh off the heels of their U.S. product, the iShares Bitcoin Trust, or IBIT.
IBIT.
Absolutely crushing it.
Yeah, doing very well.
You with me so far?
Yeah, totally. And it's particularly interesting because this European venture is their first play outside of North America. It's a clear signal that they're not just dipping their toes in the water anymore, like they're going all in.
So BlackRock is planting their flag in Europe, specifically Switzerland.
Right.
Which has pretty solid reputation for, being Switzerland stable secure. And now, surprisingly, crypto-friendly.
Yeah.
What's the strategic play here?
Well, the European crypto market is still relatively young compared to the US. Think of it like a promising startup. Lots of potential, but still some growing pains.
Got it.
BlackRock's entry could be the catalyst that propels this market into the big leagues.
Got it. So less competition, but also a market that needs a bit of a nudge.
Yeah.
But let's swing back to the US for a second.
Okay.
IBIT has been making headlines, hasn't it?
Absolutely. It's become a global leader, boasting a whopping $57 billion in net assets. This isn't just pocket change.
Right.
It's a testament to the growing wave of institutional adoption we're seeing in Bitcoin.
Okay, help me connect the dots here.
Sure.
Institutional adoption, big money flowing in. What does that actually mean for everyday investors like myself?
Think of it this way. When big players like BlackRock start putting serious money into Bitcoin, it lends credibility and legitimacy to the entire crypto space. Remember back in 2024 when those Bitcoin ETFs launched?
Yeah.
We saw a noticeable price surge?
Right.
BlackRock's European ETP could have a similar, if not greater, impact on the market.
Interesting. So it's not just about BlackRock making money.
Right.
It's about their influence potentially boosting the value of Bitcoin itself.
Yeah.
But why BlackRock, though? There are other asset managers out there. What makes them so special?
It boils down to trust and reputation.
Okay.
Investors, big and small, trust BlackRock. They've got a proven track record and a reputation for stability and security. Plus, the SEC gave their U.S. product IBIT the green light.
Right.
That's a huge vote of confidence from regulator.
Right, because regulatory approval from the SEC isn't something they just hand out like candy, is it?
Not at all.
So let's say I'm an investor who's intrigued by Bitcoin, but a bit intimidated by the whole crypto scene.
Yeah.
What makes IBIT as a spot ETF more appealing than, say, buying Bitcoin directly?
Imagine wanting to invest in gold, but not wanting to store those heavy bars in your basement. A gold ETF lets you invest in the value of gold without the hassle of actual ownership. It's the same idea with a spot Bitcoin ETF like IBIT. You're buying shares that represent the underlying Bitcoin held securely by BlackRock without dealing with the technicalities of crypto wallets and exchanges.
Ah, that makes sense. So less of a headache.
Exactly.
And more accessible for someone like me who might not be a crypto expert.
Exactly. It's designed for both seasoned investors and those who are just starting to explore the crypto world.
Okay.
Plus, it's traded on traditional exchanges, offering liquidity and ease of access.
Okay, so convenience and simplicity are big selling points.
Absolutely.
But hold on. I've heard of other Bitcoin investment products out there like Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust. How does IBIT stack up against the competition?
That's a great question. Grayscale was a big player before spot ETFs came along, but there are some fundamental differences. IBIT, as a spot ETF, directly owns Bitcoin.
Okay.
Some others, like Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust GBTC, might use futures or other derivatives, which can add another layer of complexity and potentially impact returns differently.
So IBIT is like a direct line to Bitcoin,
Exactly.
where others might be a bit more roundabout.
Yeah, roundabout's a good way to put it.
But let's get down to brass tacks. How has IBIT actually performed? Is it living up to the hype?
Well, since its launch in 2024, it's been nothing short of remarkable. It's become one of the leading Bitcoin ETFs in terms of assets under management and trading volume.
Hold on, give me some specifics. Paint a picture for me.
Imagine this. On October 29, 2024, it saw a massive trading volume of $3.35 billion in a single day.
Wow.
The very next day, it raked in a record $875 million in inflows.
Okay.
These aren't just numbers, they're a clear indication of the tremendous investor confidence in IBIT.
Wow, that's a lot of zeros. But what about those of us who don't speak fluent finance? What does this performance mean for the average investor?
Simply put, IBIT's performance has been outstanding, attracting both institutional giants and everyday investors like yourself. It's not just outperforming other Bitcoin ETFs, it's even surpassing well-established financial products in Europe.
Okay, that definitely piques my interest.
Yeah.
But let's be realistic, no investment goes up in a straight line, right?
You're absolutely right. There will always be fluctuations.
Right.
For example, on February 20th of this year, there was a $112 million outflow.
Okay.
But it's important to remember that these are short-term blips in a much larger trend.
So a bit of a roller coaster ride, but with the potential for significant gains.
Exactly.
But what about the future? Where do you see IBIT going from here?
That's where things get really interesting. We're seeing more and more institutional involvement, and traditional finance is becoming increasingly intertwined with the crypto market.
Okay.
IBIT is right at the center of this convergence.
So it's not just about riding the current wave.
Right.
It's about being positioned for what's coming next.
Exactly. And the introduction of IBIT options has been a game changer. It's another step towards solidifying Bitcoin's legitimacy as a financial asset.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here. BlackRock's big Bitcoin bet,
Yeah.
IBIT's impressive performance,
Right.
and this merging of traditional finance and crypto.
Mm-hmm.
But before we go any further, let's take a closer look at IBIT's performance compared to its rivals. What sets it apart? What should investors be paying attention to?
That's a crucial question, and one we'll delve into right after this. Stay tuned. All right, so let's break down IBIT's performance against some of its key competitors.
Okay.
Remember, past performance doesn't guarantee future results,
Right.
but it can offer valuable clues.
Right, like looking at a seasoned traveler's map, it shows where they've been and helps you understand the path they took.
Precisely. Since its launch, IBIT's growth has mirrored the upward trend of Bitcoin, which is expected given its direct link to the asset's price. However, it's important to note that there have been periods where IBIT has actually outperformed the underlying Bitcoin, generating even better returns for investors.
Exceeding expectations. That's the kind of performance that makes investors happy.
Indeed. But it's crucial to remember that this isn't a one-way ticket to riches.
Right.
As with any investment, there will be times when IBIT might slightly underperform compared to Bitcoin.
Of course, it's a journey, not a straight shot to the top. That's why diversification is key. Right?
Absolutely. You never want to put all your eggs in one basket, regardless of how promising it looks.
Right.
Now, when we compare IBIT to other Bitcoin ETFs, like Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust, GBTC, we see some interesting differences. GBTC has a longer track record, but its structure and fees differ from IBIT.
So it's not a straightforward apples-to-apples comparison. What are some of the nuances investors should consider?
For instance, GBTC, being a trust, can sometimes trade at a premium or discount to the actual value of its Bitcoin holdings. This adds another layer of complexity when evaluating its performance.
So factors beyond the price of Bitcoin itself can influence the returns.
Exactly.
What else sets IBIT apart from the competition?
Well, as we mentioned earlier, IBIT, being a spot ETF, directly holds Bitcoin, which can offer a purer exposure to the asset's price movements. This can be appealing to investors who want a simply and more transparent approach.
So IBIT cuts through the complexity, offering a clearer connection to Bitcoin's performance.
Exactly.
But beyond its structure, how does its performance actually stack up?
IBIT has consistently demonstrated strong performance. It's not just about beating other Bitcoin ETFs. It's about delivering compelling returns for investors, even surpassing the performance of some well-established financial products in Europe.
That's impressive. But for those of us who aren't financial wizards, what are some key metrics to look at when comparing IBIT to other Bitcoin ETFs?
Certainly. Beyond the basic performance metrics like total return, it's important to consider things like expense ratios, which reflect the fees charged by the ETF provider.
Right.
IBIT, in this regard, boasts a competitive expense ratio compared to many other Bitcoin ETFs.
So lower fees mean more money in the investor's pocket.
That's right.
What other factors should we be paying attention to?
Liquidity is crucial. IBIT, thanks to its trading volume, and BlackRock's backing, enjoys high liquidity, making it easy for investors to buy and sell shares without significant price slippage. This can be a major advantage, especially during volatile market conditions.
Right, because nobody wants to be stuck with an investment they can't easily get out of.
Exactly.
Anything else investors should have on their radar?
Security is paramount in the crypto space. BlackRock partners with Coinbase, a reputable and well-established custodian, to ensure the safekeeping of the underlying Bitcoin assets.
Right.
This provides an additional layer of confidence for investors.
So it's not just about performance.
Right.
It's about peace of mind, knowing your investment is in safe hands.
Absolutely.
But let's zoom out for a moment.
Okay.
We've been focusing on IBIT, but what about the broader Bitcoin ETF landscape? What are some other notable players in this space?
Aside from Grayscale's GBTC,
Yeah.
other significant players include the Bitwise 10 Crypto Index Fund, BITW, which offers exposure to a basket of cryptocurrencies, not just Bitcoin. There's also the ProShares Bitcoin Strategy ETF, BITO,
Okay.
which invests in Bitcoin futures contracts.
So there are options for investors who want a more diversified approach or those who are comfortable with futures-based strategies. But with so many choices, how does an investor determine which Bitcoin ETF is right for them?
It all comes down to individual investment goals, risk tolerance, and understanding of the underlying assets and strategies.
Right.
For someone seeking direct exposure to Bitcoin with the backing of a reputable institution like BlackRock, IBIT certainly presents a compelling option. However, it's always essential to do thorough research and consult with a financial advisor before making any investment decisions.
Solid advice. We've talked a lot about the present IBIT's structure, its performance,
Right.
and its place in the Bitcoin ETF landscape.
Right.
But let's turn our gaze to the future.
Yeah.
What's next for IBIT? What trends and developments should we be watching closely?
That's where things get really exciting. The convergence of traditional finance and the crypto world is still in its early stages. What role will IBIT play in shaping this evolving landscape? We'll delve into that right after. No, we'll just go right into it. So the convergence of traditional finance and the crypto world is still in its early stages. What role will IBIT play in shaping this evolving landscape?
All right, so we've established that IBIT is a major player in the Bitcoin ETF space backed by the powerhouse that is BlackRock. But where do things go from here? What does the future hold for IBIT and for Bitcoin ETFs in general?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? We've seen this incredible surge in institutional interest in Bitcoin, and IBIT's success is a clear indicator of that trend. But this is just the beginning, I believe.
So you're saying this wave of adoption is going to keep building. What makes you so confident about that?
A few things. First, the regulatory landscape is evolving. We're seeing more clarity and acceptance from regulators around the world. This is crucial for institutional investors who need a stable and predictable environment to operate in.
Makes sense. They're not going to jump into a Wild West scenario where the rules are constantly changing.
Exactly. Second, we're seeing more and more traditional financial institutions offering crypto-related products and services. This is creating a network effect where the more players enter the space, the more attractive it becomes for others to follow.
It's like a snowball effect, building momentum as it rolls downhill. But what does all this mean for IBIT specifically? How do they stay ahead of the curve?
Well, they've already demonstrated a willingness to innovate. The introduction of IBIT options, for example, was a significant step. It provides investors with more sophisticated tools to manage risk and potentially enhance returns.
So they're not just resting on their laurels. They're actively expanding the toolkit for investors.
Precisely. And they have the backing of BlackRock, which gives them access to vast resources, research capabilities, and a global network. This puts them in a prime position to capitalize on emerging trends and opportunities.
It's like having a world-class team behind you, constantly scouting for the next big play.
Yeah.
But let's face it, the crypto market is still volatile. There are risks involved. What are some of the challenges IBIT might face going forward?
One challenge is the potential for increased competition. As the market matures, we'll likely see more Bitcoin ETFs emerge, each with its own unique features. And trying to capture market share, IBIT will need to continue innovating and differentiating itself to maintain its leading position.
It's a race to the top, and staying ahead requires constant evolution. What other hurdles do you foresee?
Another potential challenge is regulatory uncertainty. While we've seen progress, there's always the possibility of unexpected changes or crackdowns that could impact the crypto market as a whole. IBIT would need to navigate those waters carefully.
Right, because even with the best product or performance, regulatory roadblocks can throw a wrench in the gears. So it's a balancing act between innovation and adapting to the evolving regulatory landscape. But let's shift gears for a moment. What about the broader implications of IBIT's success? What does it tell us about the future of finance?
IBIT's story is a microcosm of a much larger trend, the convergence of traditional finance and the crypto world. This is blurring the lines between what we once considered separate and distinct domains, and it's creating exciting new possibilities for investors.
So it's not just about Bitcoin anymore. It's about redefining how we think about investing and managing assets.
Precisely. IBIT and other Bitcoin ETFs are paving the way for a more inclusive and accessible financial system, one where individuals have more control over their wealth and can participate in a wider range of investment opportunities.
It's like democratizing finance, breaking down the barriers that once excluded many people from participating.
That's a powerful way to put it. And while there will undoubtedly be challenges along the way, the potential benefits are enormous. We're witnessing a paradigm shift in how we think about money and value. And IBIT is right at the forefront of this revolution.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today, from IBIT's impressive performance to the broader trends shaping the future of finance. It's clear that BlackRock's bet on Bitcoin and the success of IBIT have sent ripples throughout the financial world. But as with any emerging market, there are both opportunities and risks to consider.
Absolutely. It's essential for investors to do their due diligence, understand the underlying assets, and be aware of the potential volatility. But for those who are willing to embrace this new frontier, the future looks incredibly exciting.
It's a brave new world out there, and it seems like Bitcoin and ETFs like IBIT are leading the charge. So if you're intrigued by the possibilities but feeling a bit overwhelmed, remember, knowledge is power. Take the time to learn, explore, and consider how this evolving landscape might fit into your own financial journey.
Wise words. And never be afraid to ask questions. The more you understand, the better equipped you'll be to make informed decisions.
And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder the future of Bitcoin and its role in the ever-changing world of finance. If BlackRock's move is any indication, this is a space worth watching closely. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Until next time.